Welcome to English Easy Hub. Join us as we ignite the flames of your English learning journey together.
Please subscribe to watch and embark on your English learning journey. Don't miss out on the exciting content. In this conversation, Hank seeks advice from his professor on improving his English speaking skills through watching movies. They discuss various strategies, including the use of subtitles, choosing appropriate genres, the benefits of rewatching films, and the importance of understanding cultural contexts. Hank is also advised on practical exercises like shadowing dialogue, recording and reviewing his speech, and engaging in discussions with native speakers.
Hello, Professor. I've been thinking about ways to improve my English speaking skills, and I wondered if watching movies could help. What do you think about using films as a tool for learning English?
Hank, that's an interesting approach. Watching movies can indeed be a great way to enhance your English, especially your listening and speaking skills. Films provide authentic language usage, including slang, idioms, and different accents. But to truly benefit, you need a structured approach. How do you plan to use movies in your learning?
Well, I was thinking of just watching them with subtitles. But I'm not sure if I should use English or Chinese subtitles. What's your take on that?
That's a common dilemma. If you're a beginner, starting with Chinese subtitles can help you understand the context. However, as your proficiency improves, switching to English subtitles is more beneficial. It forces you to connect spoken and written English. Ultimately, watching without subtitles is the goal, as it immerses you in the language. What genres are you interested in? Different genres can expose you to different styles and vocabularies.
I'm into drama and comedy. I think they show a lot of real-life situations and conversations. Is that a good choice?
Absolutely. Drama often features rich, nuanced dialogue, while comedy can introduce you to colloquial expressions and cultural humor. These genres provide a good balance between formal and informal language. When you watch, try to focus not just on the plot, but also on how the characters express emotions and react in different situations. This can give you insights into intonation and body language, which are crucial for natural conversation. How comfortable are you with imitating the dialogues you hear?
I haven't really tried that. Should I be imitating exactly what they say? Wouldn't that feel a bit awkward?
It might feel awkward at first, but it's a valuable exercise. Shadowing, where you repeat what the characters say with the same intonation and rhythm, can significantly improve your pronunciation and fluency. You're not just mimicking words, but also the emotional context and cadence of native speakers. You can start with shorter phrases and gradually move to longer sentences. It's like a rehearsal for real-life conversations. It's also beneficial to record yourself while doing this. How do you feel about listening to your recordings?
I haven't tried that yet, but I can see how it would help me notice my mistakes and areas for improvement. Should I listen to the recordings right away or wait a bit?
Listening to your recordings can be a bit uncomfortable at first, but it's a great way to identify areas for improvement. You can listen right away to get immediate feedback or wait a little to have a fresh perspective. Pay attention to your pronunciation, intonation, and any noticeable hesitation. Compare your speech to the original dialogue and note any differences. Over time, you'll become more aware of your strengths and areas to work on. Additionally, you could keep a journal of new phrases or idioms you hear, especially ones that aren't covered in textbooks. How do you feel about discussing the movies with others, like in a study group?
That sounds fun. But I'm not sure where to find people interested in that. Do you have any suggestions?
You could start by looking for language exchange groups or clubs, both online and offline. Platforms like Meetup or even social media can connect you with others who are also learning English. Discussing movies allows you to practice speaking and helps deepen your understanding of the content. You'll get different perspectives and can debate interpretations, which is great for critical thinking. You could even try explaining the plot or summarizing scenes in English. It's a good test of your comprehension and speaking ability. How do you feel about interpreting the cultural aspects of the movies?
I think that's challenging but interesting. Understanding the culture behind the language seems important. How can I get better at that?
You're right. Cultural context is vital. It influences how language is used and understood. One way to improve is by paying attention to cultural references, societal norms, and historical context depicted in the films. Researching these aspects can provide a deeper understanding. For example, if a movie references a specific historical event or cultural practice, look it up. This not only enriches your cultural knowledge, but also helps you understand subtle jokes or references that might otherwise be missed. Do you have any favorite English-speaking actors or actresses? Their interviews can also be a valuable resource.
I really like Tom Hanks. He often plays diverse roles, and his interviews seem interesting. Should I focus on just one actor, or should I mix it up?
Tom Hanks is an excellent choice. He's known for his clear diction and versatile roles. Focusing on one actor can be beneficial initially, as you'll become familiar with their voice and delivery style. However, as you progress, diversifying is important. Different actors, accents, and genres will expose you to a wider range of English. It's also helpful to watch interviews, as they often feature more natural, conversational language compared to scripted dialogue. Listening to how actors discuss their roles and thoughts can give you insights into spontaneous speech patterns. How do you feel about the prospect of engaging with English outside of movies, like in news, podcasts, or books?
I think that could be useful. I listen to some English music and podcasts, but I haven't really delved into news or books. Do you think that's necessary?
It depends on your goals, but a well-rounded approach is always beneficial. News can help with understanding formal and journalistic English, while books, especially novels, can enhance your vocabulary and comprehension of complex sentence structures. Podcasts are great for varied topics and accents. The key is to engage with content that interests you. The more you enjoy the process, the more consistent you'll be in your practice. Additionally, don't hesitate to speak English as much as possible, even if it's just talking to yourself or thinking in English. All these activities combined will immerse you in the language and culture, accelerating your learning. Do you feel ready to start with these strategies?
Definitely. You've given me a lot to think about and try out. I feel much more confident about using movies to improve my English now. Thank you so much for your advice, Professor.
You're very welcome, Hank. Remember, language learning is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the process and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're all part of the learning experience. I'm looking forward to hearing about your progress and discoveries. Happy watching and learning.
Professor, you mentioned starting with movies that have English subtitles. How should I approach watching a movie with English subtitles to make the most out of it? Should I pause frequently to look up words I don't know, or just try to understand the general context?
That's an excellent question, Hank. The approach depends on your current level of English proficiency and what you're aiming to achieve. If you're at an intermediate level, I recommend watching the movie without pausing too often. Focus on understanding the general context and let your brain absorb the language naturally. However, you can keep a notebook handy to jot down words or phrases that intrigue you or that you hear repeatedly. After the movie, you can look them up and try to use them in your own sentences. For more advanced learners, pausing to delve into specific phrases or idioms, especially those you find challenging, can be quite beneficial. This way, you're not only learning the meaning of the words, but also how they're used in different contexts. How do you feel about watching movies more than once?
I usually don't watch movies more than once, but I guess it could help to catch things I missed the first time. Is that something you recommend?
Rewatching movies can be incredibly beneficial, especially for language learners. The first viewing can be more about getting the gist of the story and familiarizing yourself with the characters and their accents. On the second viewing, you can focus more on the details, like pronunciation, intonation, and specific vocabulary. You might also notice cultural nuances or jokes you missed initially. It's like peeling layers of an onion. Each viewing can reveal something new. You could also try watching a scene you're struggling with multiple times, perhaps first with English subtitles and then without, to challenge your listening comprehension. Are there any specific movies you're thinking about starting with?
I was thinking about starting with something classic, like Forrest Gump. It's a well-known film, and I've heard it's good for learning English. Do you think it's a good choice?
Forrest Gump is an excellent choice. It has a range of dialogues, from simple to complex, and it covers various aspects of American culture and history, which can be enlightening. The main character, Forrest, speaks slowly and clearly, making it easier for learners to understand. The film also contains a lot of memorable quotes and phrases that are used in everyday English. After watching, you could look up the historical events mentioned in the movie to gain additional context, which can deepen your cultural understanding. Another useful technique is to try summarizing the plot in your own words after watching. This exercise helps reinforce what you've learned and improves your ability to articulate thoughts in English. How do you feel about incorporating this kind of follow-up activity?
That sounds like a good way to reinforce what I've learned. I could even try writing a brief review of the movie in English, right?
Absolutely. Writing a review is an excellent way to practice expressing your opinions and using descriptive language. You can include what you liked or disliked, discuss the characters and their development, and even reflect on the themes of the movie. This practice not only improves your writing skills, but also helps you organize your thoughts and opinions in English. Additionally, you can share your review in online forums or with friends who are also learning English. Engaging in discussions can further enhance your understanding and expose you to different perspectives. Have you considered using any tools or apps to assist with vocabulary and pronunciation?
I haven't used any specific tools for that, but I do have a dictionary app on my phone. Are there any apps or resources you recommend?
A dictionary app is a great start. For vocabulary and pronunciation, you might consider using apps like Anki for creating flashcards, which can help with memorization. For pronunciation, apps like Forvo or English can be quite helpful. They provide audio examples of words and phrases spoken by native speakers, allowing you to hear the correct pronunciation and see the words used in context. You could also use language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk to practice speaking with native speakers. These interactions can give you real-time feedback and expose you to different dialects and colloquial expressions. Do you think you'd be comfortable trying out these kinds of apps?
It sounds a bit intimidating, but also exciting. I think it would push me out of my comfort zone, which is probably a good thing. How often should I try to practice speaking with native speakers?
It's natural to feel a bit intimidated at first, but stepping out of your comfort zone is where real growth happens. As for frequency, it depends on your schedule and comfort level. Ideally, trying to have a conversation with a native speaker at least once or twice a week would be beneficial. It doesn't have to be long sessions. Even 15 to 30 minutes can make a difference. The key is consistency. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. You can start with simple topics like your favorite movies, hobbies, or daily routines and gradually move to more complex discussions. Remember, it's not just about speaking, but also about listening and understanding different accents and speaking styles. How do you feel about making mistakes during these conversations?
I guess I'm a bit nervous about making mistakes, but I know it's a part of learning. How should I deal with it if I get stuck or can't find the right words?
It's completely normal to feel nervous about making mistakes, but embracing them is crucial to language learning. If you get stuck or can't find the right words, try to rephrase your thoughts using simpler language. You can also use gestures or facial expressions to help convey your meaning. Don't be afraid to ask your conversation partner for help or clarification. Most native speakers are understanding and willing to assist. They might even provide you with new vocabulary or expressions. Treat these moments as opportunities to learn. Over time, as you encounter and overcome these situations, your confidence will grow. It's also helpful to reflect on these experiences afterwards and think about how you might express yourself differently next time. Do you feel prepared to start implementing these strategies?
Yes, I feel much more prepared now. You've given me a lot of practical advice and confidence to start this journey. Thank you, Professor.
You're very welcome, Hank. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling ready. Remember, language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself and enjoy the process. Each movie, conversation, and new word learned is a step forward. Keep practicing and stay curious. I'm here if you ever need more guidance or have new questions. Best of luck on your journey to mastering English through movies and beyond.
The professor emphasizes that using movies as a language learning tool can significantly enhance Hank's English proficiency by exposing him to authentic language use, diverse accents, and cultural nuances. The discussion provides a comprehensive guide on how to maximize the benefits of watching films, including choosing the right content, practicing pronunciation and fluency, and integrating additional resources like vocabulary apps and language exchange platforms. The conversation encourages embracing mistakes as part of the learning process and highlights the importance of consistent practice. Overall, it offers valuable and practical advice for anyone looking to improve their English skills through engaging with cinematic content.
Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to keep the English learning journey alive.